Hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar on the 3 steps to getting published. I am Karen Penn, Director of Extreme Overflow Publishing, North Region, where the founder is the awesome Mrs. Yolanda Lewis, who I absolutely enjoy working with. As we get started on this webinar, I'd like to take you on a journey. A story of sorts using your imagination. We're going to the grocery store and we're shopping for dinner. We're going to make spaghetti and we need 3 ingredients. We need the pasta, we need the meat sauce, and we need some Parmesan cheese. During this webinar, I'd like to compare the 3 ingredients needed to make the spaghetti with the 3 steps to getting published. The bottom line in the publishing process is that you have choices. Just like your choices of which pasta, which sauce, and so on, you also have choices on how you can publish your book. And that's what we will talk about on today. So, for imagination's sake, you've just arrived at the grocery store, and you have a carriage, and you are now pushing the carriage down the aisle of the grocery store. You have come to the aisle that's filled with all the pasta. You now have in front of you a huge variety of pastas and name brands. There's Prince spaghetti, there's Muller spaghetti, there's Ronzoni spaghetti. There's also angel hair spaghetti, there's thin spaghetti, there's whole wheat spaghetti, and there's even spinach spaghetti. So which one do you choose? That's a good question. Well, your selection should be based on your desired goal. Just as the most important ingredients for a pasta meal is pasta, so also is your manuscript the most important item in your steps to getting published. So the first step in getting published is to get a hold of your manuscript. Like reaching on the shelf to pick up your pasta, reach in the drawer or underneath the pile of folders and pull out your manuscript. Think about the goal you have in mind for the item you have in hand. Think about how important each sheet of your manuscript is to the outcome, just as each strand of pasta is important to the whole of your pasta dish. Now, without hesitation, place that manuscript right into your carriage in its present form. It may have been handwritten. It may have been dictated. It may have been typed, but has a lot of side notes. No matter what state your manuscript is in, Extreme Overflow Publishing offers special packages for manuscripts that need to be made print ready. Remember, every item you place in your carriage at the grocery store is not always in its finished form. Now let's consider step 2 in getting published. Step 2 is making a choice to do some research. Begin to feel free to ask yourself some questions. Questions like, what type of author do you want to be known as? A romance novelist? Or perhaps a motivational non-fictional author? Or which direction do you want to take your writing career? The answers will encourage you to do some research, which brings us to our second step in getting published. So let's keep strolling down the grocery aisle. It's time to pick up a jar of research. And again, guess what we find down the aisle of sauces? More options, more choices to make. There is mushroom sauce, vegetable sauce, basil and garlic sauce, and meat sauce to choose from. So then, how do you make the best decision? You research. The goal of research is to compare your idea to someone else's. This means that in your research, you will decide what you want your book to look like. Now, you may have even had a book cover idea in mind, but it's always good to research what other books in your field look like. This is also a great time to ask yourself, what size should my book be? Now, when checking out the book sizes, I don't expect you to take a tape measure to the store and start measuring books. However, I do suggest that you utilize your hand as a measuring guide. Before you leave for the bookstore or library, measure your hand from the tip of your middle finger to the center of your wrist, and use that number as a guide to measure the books that are of interest to you. So let's review. The first step to getting published is to get a hold of that manuscript in whatever form it's presently in. The second step to getting published is to do your research. And the third and final step to getting published is to understand the difference between traditional publishing and self-publishing. In keeping up with our ingredients for the pasta dish, this knowledge is your sprinkling of Parmesan cheese of sorts. In understanding the difference between traditional publishing and self-publishing, there are basically three benefits to compare. For most traditional publishing companies, the benefits include wholesale distribution, marketing support, and book order fulfillment, where there is no concern for packaging or shipping. For most self-publishing companies, the benefits include total control over your book's content. You may select the price of your book, and you keep 100% royalties and rights. However, at Extreme Overflow Publishing, you have the perfect blend. We offer wholesale distribution, marketing support, book order fulfillment where you won't have to be concerned with packaging or shipping your book orders, and we offer writing, coaching, and editing services. The choice is yours. Let me give you an example to put all this together. A woman named Nancy just signed with a big publisher. She was excited to have her book picked up and was even given an advance for her novel. Nancy believed her dreams had come true. Unfortunately, it took about 8 months to finally publish, and it took multiple revisions. In the end, Nancy was recognized as an award-winning author, but didn't make the advance money back that she had received from the publisher. In addition to creating debt, Nancy left the deal feeling unfulfilled. But Nancy was ambitious, and she decided to self-publish her next book. Nancy researched enough information until she felt ready to upload her book and book cover design to a reputable print company. Nancy felt confident that all would go well until she continued to receive feedback from the print company with technical terms about the layout and design of her book and book cover. She became really frustrated by about the 5th email request for changes. Finally, Nancy made it through the technical dilemmas and received a proof copy. To her surprise, the cover of the proof copy was distorted, and she didn't know how to correct it. In the end, she felt she had wasted valuable time on things she could have used for something else. At Extreme Overflow Publishing, what you get is the perfect blend between traditional publishing and self-publishing. Why? Because you have choices. Whether you have your own ISBN or not, we take the guesswork out of your journey and guide you every step of the way. With writing coaching and editing services for both the interior and exterior of your book, your project from start to finish will be smooth sailing. No need to worry about packaging, layout design, or technical glitches, or other publishing terminology, because we explain everything to you in a way that empowers you to make the best choice for your project. Now, because you've joined this webinar today, Extreme Overflow Publishing is offering a 25% discount for your first book project with Extreme Overflow Publishing. It's a savings of about $150 or more off any publishing package you select. Take advantage of this opportunity today. All you have to do is go to the website, that is www.eoverflow1.com, and send a message with the words discount 25 to receive more information on how to get started with this offer. Well, thank you for joining. I am Karen Penn, Director of Extreme Overflow Publishing North Region, and you have reached the end of the webinar on the 3 steps to getting published. If you have any questions, send us a message and a member of the Extreme Overflow Publishing team will get back to you promptly.